When people think about America's national parks, they often imagine wide open spaces with plenty of room to spread out. But there are some places that have managed to stay just as wild and untouched as when Lewis and Clark first paddled through them more than 200 years ago. And there is no place quite like Glacier National Park. The park is home to some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. From its snow-capped peaks to its lush green valleys to its sparkling blue lakes, it's hard not to be awestruck by the raw natural beauty of this place. That's what makes it so important to protect these wild places, because in today's world, it can be hard to find places that are still so pristine and unspoiled. These majestic creatures are a common sight in the park, and you can often see them foraging for berries or fishing for salmon in the rivers. But if you want to increase your chances of seeing a bear, head over to the Apgar area of the park. In the southern part of the park, you'll find the Great Plains, a vast grassland that's home to bison, elk, and other large mammals. As you move north, the terrain becomes more mountainous, with dense forests and deep valleys. Finally, in the central part of the park, you'll find the rugged peaks and glaciers that Glacier is famous for. And, in fact, it's the third largest park in the lower 48. That means you need to plan ahead if you want to see everything. Like all national parks, it faces a number of threats from climate change to overcrowding to underfunding. It's been amazing to witness the park's natural beauty and experience the thrill of exploring some of the last truly wild places in the lower 48. When I first visited Glacier as a child, it looked very different than it does today. In the summer, the meadows and forests are alive with color, from the bright yellow of the glacier lilies to the deep purple of the asters. The park's namesake glaciers are rapidly retreating, which means that they won't be around forever. With continued conservation efforts, we can protect this fragile ecosystem for future generations to enjoy. Be aware of the challenges it faces and do your part to protect it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more stories from America's protected places. You only have to take a quick look around to see that Glacier is one of the most beautiful places in the world, but it's also a fragile place that needs our help to survive. The good news is that we all have the power to make a difference. By working together, we can ensure that Glacier remains a wild and beautiful place for everyone to enjoy. We can also take steps to mitigate the effects of climate change and preserve the park's glaciers for as long as possible. This is a sad reminder that even the most majestic and seemingly permanent features of our natural world are vulnerable to the effects of climate change. These flowers are not only beautiful to look at, but they also provide food and habitat for a variety of wildlife. However, our changing climate is causing the wildflowers to bloom earlier and more unpredictably, which can disrupt the delicate balance of the ecosystem. This means that some of the wildflowers may disappear altogether if we do and take action to protect them. And over the years, I've seen firsthand how the park has changed. For example, I remember when there used to be a road that went all the way to the Lake McDonald Lodge, but in recent years, that road has been closed to vehicles, which has made the area around the lodge much more peaceful and enjoyable for everyone. But now it is time to pass the torch to the next generation. I want to make sure that my kids and grandkids will get the chance to experience the same wild beauty that I've been so fortunate to enjoy. That's why I'm supporting efforts to protect Glacier National Park, and I encourage you to do the same. That's why it's so important to support organizations that are working to protect Glacier and other wild places. You can help keep Glacier wild by volunteering your time or donating to a conservation group. You can also help by spreading the word about the importance of protecting wild places and encouraging others to get involved. The good news is that there are plenty of campgrounds and lodges within the park, so you can stay close to the action. Just make sure to book your accommodations well in advance, especially if you're visiting during the busy summer months. This dramatic variation in scenery is one of the things that makes the park so special. No matter where you go, you're sure to be surrounded by stunning natural beauty. Here you can take a guided bear viewing tour, which will take you into the backcountry to areas where bears are known to frequent. Even if you don't see any bears, though, the tour guides are incredibly knowledgeable and will teach you all about these fascinating animals and their role in the ecosystem, but Glacier is one of those places. Hey there, welcome to this channel where we explore the world's protected places. As someone who has lived near Glacier for most of my life, I've had the privilege of exploring its nooks and crannies with my own 2 feet. Unlike many other parks, Glacier still feels like a true wilderness. a place where humans are just visitors and the animals are the true inhabitants. This is especially true in the park's backcountry, which is only accessible by foot or horse. Out here, you'll feel like you've stepped into a different world, a world of dense forests, rushing rivers, and towering peaks. It's easy to forget that civilization is just a few miles away. So let me be your guide as we journey to one of the last truly wild places in the lower 48. The park is home to bears, mountain lions, and wolves, and there are also plenty of cliffs, glaciers, and other hazards. That's why it's important to be prepared before you visit. Make sure to pack for all types of weather and let someone know your plans before you head out into the backcountry. Most importantly, though, make sure to respect the park's wildlife and do not approach or feed the bears. Take, for example, Lake McDonald, which is one of the largest lakes in the park and also one of the most popular. Its crystal clear waters are surrounded by towering mountains and dense forests. You can spend hours just sitting by the shore, taking in the views. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can rent a kayak or canoe and paddle out onto the lake for a closer look at the surrounding peaks. There are many reasons why Glacier is special, but one of the main ones is its stunning beauty. To experience Glacier's beauty for yourself, you can hike to one of the park's many lakes, each more beautiful than the next. If you're looking for something a little more off the beaten path, there are plenty of other lakes to choose from. One of my favorites is Lake Josephine, which is located in the remote backcountry of the park. To get there, you have to hike several miles down a winding trail, but the payoff is worth it. The lake is nestled in a valley surrounded by jagged peaks, and it's rarely visited by other tourists. Once you reach the lake, you can take a dip in its icy waters, or just relax and soak up the stunning scenery. Now, of course, no trip to Glacier would be complete without seeing at least one bear, if you're willing to venture even further off the beaten path. You might be lucky enough to spot some of the park's other elusive wildlife, including moose, mountain goats, and even wolves. As you travel around the park, you'll notice that the landscape changes dramatically from one area to the next. But perhaps the most unforgettable thing about Glacier is its sense of wildness. Now, while Glacier's wildness is what makes it so special, it also makes it a bit dangerous. Another thing you should know before visiting Glacier is that it's a big park. While Glacier is undoubtedly a beautiful and special place, it's not perfect. I've had the privilege of living near Glacier for most of my life, and I've spent countless hours exploring its trails, its rivers, and peaks. You may think of national parks as static, unchanging places, but they are actually full of life, constantly changing and evolving. One of the most beautiful things about Glacier is its abundance of wildflowers. Even the iconic glaciers of Glacier National Park are not safe from the effects of climate change. Despite these challenges, there is hope for Glacier National Park. So the next time you find yourself in Glacier National Park, take a moment to appreciate the fragility of this beautiful place. True beauty is wild, fragile, and worth protecting. These are the last wild. Thank you for watching.